Hi friends! Today I thought I could tell you a little bit about the different parts of a story. Did you know that a story has so many different parts? If you're creating a story, you might choose to use a lot of these things, like characters or setting or title. So I've written down the different parts for you, and we're going to talk about it, and then I'm going to read you a story, and we're going to see if we can find those parts. Are you ready? So here are some different parts of a story. At first, you have the title, and that's what the story is called. And then often, there's an author and an illustrator. If there's no pictures, there's probably not an illustrator. That's the person that draws the pictures. But there's always an author who wrote the words. And the plot is what happens in the story, or the main events. And then the different parts of the story are the beginning, the middle, and the end. At the beginning of the story, you might see the setting, which is where the story takes place, like the mountains, or the ocean, or the beach, or the forest. And then you might meet the characters, maybe a fish, maybe some people, a family. And then in the middle of the story, you might see the conflict. What is the problem that happens in the story? Not every story has this, but a lot have a problem that needs to be solved. You might see this towards the beginning of the story as well. And then in the middle, you might see how the characters are reacting to the story. And they're like, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna solve this problem? That usually happens in the middle. And then there's the end of the story, and that's where things get wrapped up. It's the resolution. The problem gets solved, or maybe it doesn't get solved, or maybe it gets a little bit solved or changed. So that's kind of the trajectory of stories. And when you create a story, you want to have a lot of these things in there. And we're going to read a story and find these things in that story. So I picked one of my favorites. Many of you might know. This is Not My Hat by Jon Klassen. So you might already see we have the title, This Is Not My Hat, and then we have the author, Jon Klassen. In this case, it just has his name, which makes me think he's probably the author and the illustrator, that he wrote the words and the pictures. So let's get started and see if we can spot anything else in our story. This is not my hat. This hat is not mine. I just stole it. There's the first character, the little fish with the hat. I stole it from a big fish. He was asleep when I did it. Do you think, is this another character? The big fish? He probably won't wake up for a long time. Did he wake up? Yes, he did. And even if he does wake up, he probably won't notice that it's gone. Uh-oh. He's looking up, and what's missing? His hat. I think this might be the problem, the conflict that happens in the story. Because the little fish took the big fish's hat, and now what are they going to do about it? What's the big fish going to do about it? I think that's what's part of our plot and our conflict. Also, you might notice the setting of this story is underwater. There's some plants and seaweed. And even if he does notice that it's gone, he probably won't know it was me who took it. And even if he does guess it was me, he won't know where I'm going. But I will tell you where I'm going. I'm going where the plants grow big and tall and close together. It is very hard to see in there. Nobody will ever find me. There is someone who saw me already, but he said he wouldn't tell anyone which way I went. We meet another character, the crab. So I'm not worried about that. I know it's wrong to steal a hat. I know it does not belong to me, but I am going to keep it. It was too small for him anyway. It fits me just right. And look, I made it where the plants are big and tall and close together. And look, there's a new setting. So before we were kind of in open water with a little bit of plants. Now he's in kind of a forest of plants. And sometimes in your story, the settings can change. I knew I was gonna make it. Uh-oh. Nobody will ever find me. The hat is back. I think that's the last page. Yes, this is the end. And how did it end? What was the resolution? Did the problem get solved? The big fish get its hat back? Yep. The end. I love that story. So funny. So I hope that you spied a few of those story parts inside of this book. Maybe you can try that out with another book at your house. What's the title? What's the author's name? Is there an illustrator? What happens? Is there a plot of the story? I would describe this plot as, big fish notices his hat is missing. Little fish took it and is trying to escape, but big fish gets it back. Who are the characters? Where does it take place? What's the setting? Is there a conflict? Does it get solved? Hope you have fun checking out books, seeing if there's any different parts you can recognize. Bye.